If there are any staff in the back, I would appreciate if we could space ourselves out like we did once upon a time, a couple, 2 or 3 years ago. The primary reason for that is I need for everyone to see that we're all paying attention, plus the gravity of what I'm bringing to you today is it's pretty heavy for me. And I just need everyone paying attention. First thing I need for everyone to do is to take your cell phone and put it away. Put it in a pocket. Put it away. Now I need for you to turn your attention to the screen. I need you to be quiet. If I have to ask anyone to be quiet, I'm just going to have you removed. Scott, would you please?
The suicide of a teenage girl in British Columbia is drawing attention tonight to the issue of bullying. Before she died, she chronicled online what she'd endured. Now, as Duncan McHugh reports, much of the response is also appearing online.
The video is heartbreaking. A 15-year-old named Amanda. She never speaks, but recounts how she descended into depression and self-harm after months of taunts online, progressed to attacks at school. She uploaded it to YouTube last month. Yesterday, she took her own life. She had changed schools a few times, but couldn't escape her tormentors. Now, classmates are in disbelief.
This has been going on for a very long time. If I was her, I would have done it way before.
To be bullied to the point where you have to, kill yourself, I don't think that's right.
They're mourning at the gym where she trained as a cheerleader.
I think because on the exterior she was so tough and strong and would put up with so much that she could handle anything. And we're all breakable.
School officials who knew of the bullying say they'd connected her with counselors.
The district was aware of the video that was posted, was aware of this prior to her death, and that supports were in place.
Condolences flooded Facebook, where much of Amanda's ordeal played out, and other social media.
And she had to go through so much to want to kill herself, try and kill herself twice. Twice, not just once, twice.
No one asks for it. It isn't a rite of passage. Bullying has to stop.
Amanda herself recently posted a school project on cyberbullying, yet her online confessional mirrors similar stories of pain.
Parents need to be aware that pretending it's not going on is not going to make it go away. It is just such a big issue.
Tragically, Amanda hoped her video would help others. Now, YouTube has pulled it, and school crisis counselors grapple with its legacy. Duncan McHugh, CBC News, Coquitlam.
I'm not going to say anything to you today that you probably haven't heard before, but I want to reemphasize a couple of points. Well, that was timely, wasn't it?
Amanda Todd.
I was a freshman here, 1977, and went home one afternoon after band practice, and I got a phone call. One of my friends said, "Did you hear about David?" It was his real name. I said, "No, what about David?" They said, "He just killed himself." I had seen David in the band room less than a half hour earlier. He was pretty much the same David that we always knew. He was always laughing. He was a cut-up. He was fun to be around. And he was a friend of mine. And yet, for some reason, that afternoon, he went home and he decided that life wasn't worth living, and he took his life. He was the superintendent's son. I've obviously never gotten over that. one of the things that still haunts me and still haunts some other people who knew David and were with him that day was that he gave us some very clear signs that if we had really been watching, might have clued us in. But most of us thought that David was just cutting up like he normally does. Or like he normally did. And so we kind of passed it off and we didn't worry about it. And we thought, David's got everything going for him. He's the superintendent's son. He's really smart. He's a talented musician. He's guaranteed to be a success in life if ever there was anyone. We didn't worry about him, and yet David went home that afternoon and he was done. And to this day, I don't know why David did that. I was sitting in a principal's meeting with principals from all over Western North Carolina. The principal from Murphy was there, and Robbinsville, and the principal from Hiwassee Dam was there. And we were talking about cell phones. And the question came up, what do you do about cell phones in your school? And my statement to them was, well, I've been a principal that's tried to control cell phones by taking them away, and what we found is that it really didn't make that much difference because students still have their cell phones when they get home, and they do the same thing at home that they're doing at school, and it's a hassle to try, and the relationships is just not worth fighting over. Let's teach them how to be responsible and to be accountable for their decisions, because that's one of the things that we are supposed to do as a school with you, is teach you to be responsible and to be accountable, because someday you're going to step away from here and you're going to be held accountable for every one of your decisions. So we want to help you get there. The principal from Hiwassee Dam said, well, I used to do that. He said, I used to think that way. He said, but then there were 2 students in Copper Basin, just across the line in Tennessee from Hiwassee Dam, who either hurt themselves or tried to kill themselves or maybe succeeded, I don't remember. And he said, and when I saw that, I said, I cannot allow that. So that principal from Hiwassee Dam has completely banned cell phones from his high school. Completely. You can't have them. If you see them, it's a bunch of trouble. And I perfectly understand why. Scott, could you bring that page up for me and dim the lights just a little bit? And this is why. Yeah, see, I knew that there would be somebody out here who would see the girl in the bikini and it would get your attention. Yeah. But I put this up here just like that on purpose because we have almost 200 students out of a 600-member student body who already have invested their time in the after-school app. For those of you that don't know about after school, which I find hard to believe is anyone, because what I hear across the hall right now is that this is the topic of conversation. After School is a program where you can subscribe to it, and if you have a Facebook account and certain criteria are met, you can then go on to After School and you can anonymously post comments about anyone that you want to, and no one will ever find out it's you. And I heard about this yesterday. You guys probably have known about it since it came out in October of 2014. But I heard about this yesterday, and the first thought that came to me was, oh my stars, what an avenue for people who just don't give a care about anybody but themselves. And so they'll post something about Mark Sell on there and about what he did last night and who he did it with and whether it's true or not. Now the whole world knows, and Mark's got to carry this burden, and in the back of his head, Mark is trying to figure out if she posted it, or if she posted it, or if she posted it, and the language that she used surely sounded like her, and now Mark's walking around looking over his shoulder all the time because somebody's posting things about him, and before long it gets to be a burden for Mark, and then it happens again, and then it happens again, and what happens to Mark's emotional state? And there's nothing anybody can do about it. We can't stop it. I can't ban it. I can't shut you down off of it, and I can't warn you deeply enough about how dangerous this is. And it has scared the daylights out of me, and that's why we're here. Facebook is one thing, and for you guys, Facebook is old hat, but some of you still use it, and I've seen some of the things that you post. And Instagram is something else, and it's almost old now. And then there was Snapchat, and the cool thing about Snapchat is you can send whatever you want, and within 10 seconds it's gone, and nobody ever knows, unless they've got an iPhone and they can do a screenshot, and then you're hung. Am I right? And so we use all of these forms of technology not for what they were really intended. This was not intended to be a bullying device, although I really wonder, because why else would they put a half-dressed girl up there? They want you to pay attention, and they get you thinking in that direction. The next thing that they're posting is about the half-dressed girl that I was with last night. Hey, that's my business. That's not your business. And it's not something that I want posted for the world. And neither do your friends. But already we've got people posting about crushes. And somebody is so sexy that I drink his bath water. And And yeah, it's laughable, but all of the things that are posted and some of the surveys that are on this are not laughable. They are vile. And what if he doesn't want his bathwater messed with? What if somebody turns that around and starts traumatizing him with it? Because we think that he's tough and he can take it, but down inside, really, he's not. And so the next thing that happens is we've got a case like that first video. And that's what scares me. Because I know what it's like to lose somebody. Is there anyone, you better think about this, is there anyone in this room who wants to be responsible, really wants to be responsible for the death of somebody else in here? If you really want to be responsible for the death of somebody else, you've got a problem. And we need to find some help. Scott, on our Facebook our web page, scroll down for me, we've got to hurry. Right there where it says bullying, if you haven't clicked on that, that's where we have our bullying form. If somebody is harassing you or giving you a hard time, you click on right there. You can post something anonymously and we will respond to it within 24 hours. It comes straight to my desk. First thing, I'm the one that gets them. They come to me. And I've dealt with every single one of them. The last video, please, Scott. If the music plays or the bell rings, I want you to finish this video before we leave.
At the concrete plant where she leapt to her death, friends of Rebecca Sedwick created a makeshift memorial. These stuffed animals and balloons reflect just how young she was, 12 years old. Her mother, Tricia Norman, says her daughter's suicide came after months of bullying on social media and in person.
You haven't killed yourself yet? Would you please just die? They got what they wanted.
She says it continued even after she complained to school officials.
I told them, Becca's being threatened. These girls are saying that they're going to jump her, and, oh, well, we'll talk to them. and then, you know, she would still get jumped.
Norman says the bullying began last December. She did everything she could think of, moved her daughter to another school, and even closed Rebecca's Facebook account. But Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd says the torment didn't stop.
And here's some of the quotes that we found. You should die. Why don't you go kill yourself?
Her mother was unaware Rebecca had recently started using new forms of social media, designed as easy ways for people to stay in touch.
The bullying continued by a group of female juveniles on different social media outlets such as Kick, Ask FM, Instagram, and Voxer.
Finally, it was too much. Rebecca texted a friend saying, "I'm dead. I'm jumping. I can't take it anymore." On Monday, she climbed a tower at a concrete factory and jumped off. Detectives later found even more ominous clues.
We also found on Rebecca's search engines or search questions, how many Advil do you need to take to die?
The sheriff's office is considering filing charges against the students who sent the hostile messages. Jeff.
Don Taylor, thank you very much.
Last week, my son Tim, who is a student at Western Carolina University, got a phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning. One of his frat mates, his little brother in the fraternity that he belongs to, called him and said, "Tim, I just took 24 Tylenol. I'm ready to go." And so Tim went and got him and took him to the hospital, and they treated him for an intentional overdose. You see why it's close to me? I'm asking you all to help. This is a school of leadership, so be leaders. Lead in a way that shows that we care for each other. If you've got that app, delete it. Just get rid of it. If you know people are using it and they're using it incorrectly, then let somebody know so that we can help. Or better yet, just look at them and say, "Stop. Just stop. That's enough." You've got the power to do that. Be a leader. Step up. You might be saving somebody's life. If you know that there's somebody who is struggling with the things that we've been looking at, you need to let us know so that we can help them. Because I don't want to come to school tomorrow and have to get on the intercom like I did earlier today and say, "I have news that I need to share. Mark is no longer with us." I don't want to do that. I need you to help, please. You know what, brother? I agree with you, but sometimes people don't make good decisions. I've sent an email to all of our families that have email accounts, and I've told them about this. I've contacted WLOS, and I'm thinking that somebody is coming tomorrow, and we're going to talk to them about this. It's going to be in the newspaper. It's on our Facebook, and it's on our webpage, or it's going to be on our webpage, because it's time for us to stop. So please, help me. Make this stop. Get rid of that app. Nothing but trouble. Thank you for your good attention. I appreciate you. Seniors first. You're dismissed.